Alrighty.
Well, well, well.
The MrMovies podcast is back, baby.
Back in action, back again, back in black, other backs.
You could say we're marching towards the finish line.
Okay.
That makes
Finish
it sound like
line.
we're ending the podcast. The podcast is going, I just
You
want to use
have
the
till
word
April. Right. That's why we're going so slow. Obviously, we're postponing.
I'm ready to get into Duncan.
Let's
How many
just do
things
it.
did you watch in the glorious month of March?
8 things.
Same as me. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Go tit
why
for
don't you
tat.
why don't you take it away?
Okay. This one will be quick. I watched The Mummy, the classic one, the Brendan Fraser one, not the Tom Cruise.
I think there's technically one before that.
Okay, well, all right. If we're going old school, this one was fine. I think we watched it for family movie night. We wanted a classic adventure, and like no one wanted to watch Indiana Jones, so we were like, what's similar to that but not? And it was The Mummy. Pretty racist film at some point. What wasn't? But otherwise, I think everything holds up pretty well. The acting, the jokes, the comedy, maybe not all the special effects, but for the time, pretty good.
I have not seen this movie, but it's on my list.
You haven't seen The Mummy?
I've never seen the not original Mummy.
Oh my
but
God.
I'm a big Brendan Fraser fan, and he's coming back this year.
Oh yeah, be
the
free.
Renaissance. What they call it? The Renaissance.
They're calling it Renaissance. That's great. I love that. This movie. Okay.
He's a great actor. He's in Doom Patrol, and he's really good in that.
I believe it. He's good in everything. What did you see, Frank?
Not in this month. I just have to bring it up. You know, when you watch something so good and we're so far behind these podcasts, I just need to bring it up that I can't wait to talk about it.
We'll get there.
The final season of Better Call Saul is a masterpiece.
And I just caught up with the most recent one on Netflix.
Oh,
I'm dying to see this last
dude,
one.
The final season is amazing.
I saw you post about it. And like, I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but like, I can't help it. It looks so good.
I like it more than Breaking Bad. Like, they really sealed the ending.
I'm with you. I'm kind of we should do its own thing. Breaking Bad.
I would do an own thing. I'm rewatching Breaking Bad right now, and they're like, it completely changes the way I'm watching all the scenes with Saul, especially the scenes between him and Mike.
Oh, sure.
Right. The last season is incredible. Whenever I watch something that good that I know we're going to get into spoilers with in the future, I want to let the audience know, because I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So
remember that in 7 months when we talk about whenever that come out.
Alrighty.
We'll do regular uploads soon, but like whatever.
Oh, so I took a Duncan Kastner recommendation and I watched the movie Boys State.
Oh yeah.
And this movie, I mean, we talked about it, so I won't go too deep with it. This movie's depressing.
It is. It's very chilling.
But it's so good.
Just the culture around youth politics.
Politics.
What if we gave young, unbalanced people the idea?
What I think really shines in this documentary is you see a lot of crappy, like just a lot of bad
behavior
traits in politicians, and this documentary shows you the seeds being planted.
Right, it's reflected in the kids.
And it's so, oh gosh.
You're like, oh, we got a baby Ted Cruz over there.
The what?
We got a baby Ted Cruz over there.
Yeah, what are you eating?
It's like a quiche I made. What?
I just think it's funny you're eating a quiche. I make a mean quiche.
Quiches are so good.
It's so good. But yeah, Boys State is I just think it's like just this great movie. If you don't like politicians but you're into politics, this is the perfect movie for you. I felt genuinely bad for some of those kids, the ones that became like a-holes. You genuinely, though,
it's a nice way to put it.
Because you see the child in them in the beginning, and then you see them become like these,
they're so young.
power hungry monsters, and a part of you's like, you still sees the child in them at the end, and so you're able to garner sympathy for them in a way that you kind of can't for actual real politicians, because you only see the scummy sides of them.
Sure, yeah.
But it definitely makes you think, like, is there like, what was, I don't know, I look at like politicians now, and I think like, what was your turning point?
Ooh.
I try to think, like, that's what that movie did for me. It kind of opened my eyes. Like, were you at some point like, was Mitch
Mr.
McConnell
Senator,
ever a decent human?
Mr. Senator, at what point did you become what you are?
Like, at what point did Ted Cruz become Ted Cruz? You know,
Was born with it?
Was he ever a good kid?
That's a question.
I don't know. Well, he must have been. And then, like, what was the turning point? Like, what was the inciting moment?
Yeah, are kids born ethically balanced, or is everyone born good?
I believe everyone's born good, and then, like, I feel like the people with the crappy parents are like the first out the gate to, like,
right, yeah.
But
that seems fair, yeah.
I don't know, that it just fascinated me.
Mhm.
What did you watch, Duncan?
Well, nothing that depressing, I'll tell you what.
I got another big old depressing movie after this.
Before I check my list, actually. The Outcasts. What is that? Hold on. I watched something called The Outcasts.
I love it when we do this so far, when there's a movie on the list, and it's happened to me sometimes where I'm like, I don't remember watching.
Oh no. Oh God, I remember this.
Is this the one with Ralph Macchio?
What?
This from the 1980s?
This is from 2017.
There's a movie with a similar title from the 1980s with Ralph Macchio.
Sure. Outcast is a popular word. Oh yeah, there's like a TV series a long time ago. Oh no, wait, that's
Ralph
different.
Macchio? It was a movie. It's
different. There's so many fucking outcasts. Okay. Interestingly, this kind of fits along the thread of politics. Okay, I will say this is another Netflix rom-com, so hold on. It's not a good movie, but the idea is it's these, like, you know, the classic trope of like, oh, high school is separated into cliques, where it's like the jocks, the nerds, the robotic club, the theater kids, the whatevers. I don't know. I haven't been in high school in a while. It's the idea that like the popular kids like have the respect of all of these cliques, and all of the cliques don't interact with each other. And it's the idea of like, what if all the cliques like started hanging out without the popular girls, and like effectively like making them unpopular? So it kind of looks
one could say making them outcasts.
There you go. This film kind of like barely tries to tackle whatever the perceptions of popularity, but really it's just a dumb rom-com where they're like, Becky pushed me down the stairs, so let's get everyone to ignore her when she wears her new dress tomorrow. Because like,
did they play the song "Hey Ya" by the Outcasts? Because if not, that's a missed opportunity.
I don't think they had room in the budget for anything like that.
That's fair. What is the demographic for this movie? Because it's definitely not you.
I would say like 5-year-old babies.
No, seriously. What is the demographic?
Definitely high schoolers. Definitely people in high school who are like, yeah, what if the popular girls like got like their asses handed to them?
Now, here's the thing. I'm curious to find, because you watch a lot of these movies that are not for your demographic.
Watch it, but yeah,
I think that's a fair statement. I'm curious to know if now, is this age towards like men, women, or like in the high school demographic?
There's more. I hesitate to use the word normal, but there's more like normal women in the movie than men. The men are very stereotypical. It's like the nerd has like tons of acne and like no hair, and he's like
hey guys, you wanna come over and see my food collection?
Yeah, he's like bulging over his pants, and he's like, I'm gonna trade a Magic the Gathering card for a Pokemon card, and I'm never gonna tell him. And like very like you know, like as nerdy as you can.
We'll never catch them all now.
And the girls are just like, yeah, I do robotics, but like they look like a girl. So like,
do you think from what you're describing, it sounds like it's definitely more female?
audiences are supposed to relate to the blank characters of the women in the movie.
Okay. I really like digesting stuff like this. I don't know why. I find it interesting.
I always try to find worth in these terrible rom-coms because like I have to justify why I watched it. Because in the moment it's like, haha, I'm drunk and I'm watching it with a friend. It's great. But like when I'm done, it's like, why the hell did I do that? And then I have to make up some reason. Anyway, what did you watch, Frank?
I watched let's just get this one off. I like this is a sensitive topic, this
Uh-oh.
movie. It's called Mass. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. Um
Are you asking the podcast?
yeah, I'm just saying like it's about like school shootings and stuff. So I just want to like forewarn anybody,
Yeah.
like skip ahead. We usually have the picture of the poster, so just like skim until you don't see it if you don't want to hear about this.
Mhm.
But this movie is very interesting. It's a very like artsy movie. It's basically the whole thing takes place in the basement of a church, and it is the family. It's the two parents of a victim of a school shooting
Mhm.
talking to the parents of the kid that did the school shooting.
Oh.
And it is like
Oh.
it's very difficult to watch.
Sure. Yeah.
It's an incredible film. Jason Isaacs is in it, and he's oh my gosh, I teared up watching this just because it's so they try to like I don't even know how to describe it, but it's one of the most powerful films I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I was very much enthralled in it throughout, and even though it's just talking, I was my focus was on the screen the whole time.
I'm glad to hear it wasn't like corny or like done.
No, it takes it very very seriously.
That's good.
And it feels very like just raw and real. It feels almost like a stage play because it's done. It's like it's one location and it's just conversation. It does feel like a stage play, but
That's kind of cool.
yeah, no, it is. It's very. I think given the times and with everything that happened and stuff like that becoming sadly like a normal occurrence,
It is.
I definitely recommend this film.
Mhm.
And what I liked about it is it never it did a little bit like it dips its toes into like the political aspect of like how do we stop this, but it wasn't about that. It was more so about coping with something like that and
Mhm.
kind of asking the question like on the parents' behalf of where at what point do you start failing your like where does the responsibility start and end for your kids' actions and stuff like that? And it's a very powerful film. I highly recommend people check it out. It's not for everybody, I will say. Like I said, it's very much like a play. It's just one location, one room, and talking. But I really enjoyed it and I recommend it.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds like something that's worth watching, even if it's just for the relevance.
Mhm.
Man, what a sad reality where
Yeah,
that.
I know. What a downer. I have a bunch of fun movies after this, so
That's good.
yeah, I'll try to lighten it up a little bit. What did you watch?
I watched an award-nominated film called Belfast.
I watched Belfast as well. I adored this movie.
Adored.
I know you were not a fan.
Well, what did you adore about it?
I really just like this little slice of life movie. And I think what got me was the relationship the kid had with his grandma specifically.
Mhm.
Um the film is just shot like there's some shots in that movie like during the neighborhood when the riots are breaking out. It's just on the kid and it's
Right.
like
Yep.
that like lives rent free in my head. But I really loved Belfast. I just thought it's a very simple film
Mhm.
and it just gives you this little piece of history and this little slice of life in this pocket of history. I'm curious your opinion.
Well, okay. I do. Well, it's tricky because in theory, I really do like slice of life films where it's
Mhm.
not a huge, monumentous like thing, but it's almost like a little example of like what daily life is. The key in that for me is slice, meaning short, meaning not 2 hours or however long this was.
I thought it was an hour and a half.
Well, now I have to look it up in case
I was gonna say, what is the official runtime?
What if I'm a big dumb idiot? Belfast movie. It's like an hour 40.
Okay, hour 40.
I think this would have made an amazing short film. But like I found myself like losing interest really quickly. I think movies that follow children they really got to get it right, because the kids are kind of the emotional tether of the whole thing. I
thought the actor, the little kid, was really good in it, though. I thought he was really good in it.
I remember him being good for most scenes. Sorry if he's like one of the people watching this, one of the 100.
No, I will defend the kid fiercely. Okay.
Fine.
I thought he was really good. Listen, kids, that's like the number one rule in like the film. They say don't direct kids
Don't work with kids, yeah.
Which is hilarious that they lugged those two in the same category.
Yeah, like what a crew. But yeah, I think this movie, I think it needed a little bit more to push it along. I think it always had the threat of something, but then like they'd walk around for 40 minutes and you're like, what about that thing? And then the thing would show up again and then go away. And I don't know. I think if you're going to have like a looming presence, you kind of have to either not ignore it that hard or like sprinkle it through.
It was cute. I like the little segment when he's trying to steal like the candy bars, and he's definitely got a crush on that girl that's in the gang.
Listen, who amongst us has not done petty larceny for a cute girl?
For love.
Right. It's like, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I might have been too hard on it initially, but I kind of thought it needed a bit more, or at least quicker. I think you could have everything in the movie, but like take out 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Sorry,
I disagree.
to the country of Belfast.
We'll move on.
All right. This will be a rift in our friendship forever.
Well, the MrMovies maybe this is the last episode.
Belfast did us in. Sorry, everyone.
I just got to talk about it. I was going to say it because it was one of my favorites, but I got to talk about it now. I watched the Apple TV show. I caught up on the seasons 2 and 3 of the show Servant that M. Night Shyamalan does.
Oh, yeah.
This show is incredible.
This is the doll one, right?
This is the doll one, but it's honestly gotten so past. Oh, it's so past the doll. It's so good.
I was gonna ask, like, how are you on season 3 and there's still a doll?
No, so the doll is mostly done at this point.
Okay. What's it about?
And the show is just so, I don't want to give it away, but sure. The babysitter of the doll in the first season, she's like the main point of the show now. She's kind of like the point of tension between the two characters.
Does she just have like new clients that are possessed?
No, she's still with the family because the baby, I don't want to spoil that, but the baby's back.
You said this in the first season, like the baby is back, and
the baby's back essentially. So now she's actually the nanny for this baby. And but it gets the show is so wild. There's the episode that M. Night Shyamalan directed in season 2. I think is like some of the best directing work he's done. Like it is so intense. I think the episode's called like 2:03 a.m. Like that's the title.
Oh, you mentioned that actually in the last, because I just edited January and you mentioned that.
I did.
You mentioned 2.
I already talked about season 2, and maybe this is supposed to be
what the hell?
3.
We just got a meeting ending in 10 minutes thing.
Oh shoot!
Well, that's never happened before.
We can call back.
We have to. Well, we have 9 minutes, but like, how fucking dare they?
Those Zoom bastards.
Where the hell do you get off, Zoom? Anyway, continue.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Servant season 3. I guess I'll just jump right into that. Season 3 is great. I love that there's clearly an ending, like from the get-go. There was clearly like an ending planned, and we're building towards it. And like, I cannot wait to get there. The way this season ends, I think is just extremely ballsy for a TV show to do.
Hmm.
And I cannot wait because next season's going to be the final season.
Ooh.
And I cannot wait to see what they have planned for this. I think the show is just incredibly, the way it's shot is so just weary and unhinged. Basically, it takes place mostly inside of this one house, and the whole series like just takes place throughout this house.
Like
They
Birdman.
rarely ever leave the house. It's so weird. Like, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to give anything away because I really
Yeah.
want people to watch it.
You're
The show
talking.
is so underrated, like criminally underrated.
I will say, you have a infectious thing about you where you just talk about something and it doesn't sound good, but then you keep talking about it and it makes me want to watch it. And like,
It's so, dude, you will get hooked on this show. I also want to say
almost spilled my quiches.
M. Night Shyamalan's dark comedy
Uh-huh.
thrives on this show. Thrives. There's a scene with a finger. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a scene. There's a scene.
No, actually, say more. What do you mean by that?
I was like in tears, laughing my ass off, and my parents were in the room watching it. They were like, "This is so gross and messed up." I was dying laughing. I was like, "This is so funny."
Maybe I'll get Apple TV. It sounds worth it.
Oh, it's so worth it. I gotta say, I mentioned this in another podcast. Apple TV shows have the best opening credit sequences.
Best intros. Yeah, you mentioned that. That's odd. Maybe that's just where they put their budget.
I don't know. Their shows look great too, so I don't know. Duncan, what did you watch in March?
What an interesting question. I watched a TV show called American Auto. Have you heard of this?
I have not. I'm gonna go get some water on my counter, but you talk and I will listen.
It's a very simple show. It's about the car industry and like the people who make cars. And there's a running joke that like the woman in charge of the company like doesn't even like cars. She just likes running businesses. And it's about like the people behind like, I guess, I don't know, cars. What was that pose, by the way? You like, because you have the blur effect on, it was just like you like in the middle of the void, kind of like leaning in.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a workplace comedy sitcom, and like those are always so hit or miss. And I would say this one comfortably falls under the reliably entertaining one, like a B. There are better workplace sitcoms, but this one is pretty funny. There's some good jokes. There's always issues. There was an episode where like a serial killer was like killing people in one of the cars that they manufactured, so they have to do damage control over like a serial killer. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you apologize for like someone, but like they're using your car? So like it's like, oh, what if? But like I don't like cars, so like bit of a hard sell for me. Not a bad show, pretty cute.
Okay, that's good. I like the little indie show that could, and I'm glad you're supporting it. I'll talk about a show.
Is this next show a big one? Because we could restart the meeting now so you don't get interrupted.
Let me just run through this real quick.
Let's hear it.
Then we'll be all set. I watched the show Glow, but I only watched the last season because I had watched the other seasons like years before, but I didn't remember how it ended. So I was trying to watch this and simultaneously be like, what the hell's happening? I enjoyed it though. I thought the last season was good. I'm bummed Netflix pulled the plug on this and that there's no like proper ending. I hope they reverse that, even if they do, like, I know there was talks of them maybe doing like a movie just to like give it like a 2-hour finish. I think that'd be really great. This show is very stylized and it's hilarious. I highly recommend it. I think Alison Brie is like incredible in the role. The whole cast is incredible. Very dark, seedy sense of humor throughout the show that I really that
was a great word for it.
Have you seen the show?
I have.
Okay.
Well, not all of it. No. Maybe 3. They were in Vegas at one point.
Yeah, you've seen the full thing then.
Okay.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the show, and I hope we get some sort of conclusion to it. And speaking of conclusions, that's the end of part 1 of the podcast. No,
Yep.
we're gonna
Everyone
pause
go. Everyone go to the bathroom.
this Zoom meeting, and then we'll be back at it in
All right.
no time to you people, but maybe 5 minutes for us.
Hey Frank.
Yeah.
Welcome back to part 2.
Oh my gosh! But really, it's just one part.
Yeah.
We did it. We
Kind of.
just mentioned Better Call Saul. I was during our little break. I was on Twitter. Howard Hamlin is trending, and I just think that's really funny.
Why is Howard Hamlin trending?
No, don't look it up. There's
God.
spoilers. There's a ton of spoilers, but it's so funny.
Breaking Bad and
It's like a
meme renaissance right now. What the hell's up with
Yeah, dude, my entire TikTok is all Breaking Bad memes, and my whole Twitter is Breaking Bad memes, but they're genuinely really funny.
Well, of course, they're hilarious, but it's like, where are you all coming from?
I know. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Listen, Breaking Bad is my comfort show. I don't know what the deeper meaning behind that is, but it's
a very discomforting show. Is it your turn or my turn?
I have 4. How many do you have?
Not as many. You go.
How many do you have?
2.
That's impossible.
Well, I have a surprise that it's a whole thing. So you go.
Oh, there's a whole trilogy, isn't there? Oh, alrighty. Well, I watched a movie that I think you recommended.
Okay.
You definitely told me I had to watch it in the past. I don't know
that
if
sounds like
podcast. What was that?
I said that sounds like me.
And I watched the movie 7. Which means I officially know what's in the box.
You found out what's in the box.
Woof.
Yeah, this movie is. Well, I want to hear what you said. Go ahead.
I thought the movie, like, I like the seedy tone to it. I was like, I feel like I need to take a bath.
This movie's gross. Yeah.
Yeah, just like visually, it is like it's incredible, but it's like it's gross. You just feel nasty. You're just thrown into the grit of this place. It's always raining. And it is just there's sidewalks, like you could just you know what those sidewalks smell like just looking at
absolutely.
My laptop is overheating. Yeah, I thought 7 was like a great movie. I was like, I wish I'd watched this sooner. I believe it's streaming on Netflix now. Maybe by the time we post this, it won't be. But 7 is just a diddly d great movie. And
I will say, usually when an actor gets canceled by the lamestream media, it kind of ruins the movies they're in. Not this one, because god damn it, Kevin Spacey plays a gross motherfucker. And like it doesn't affect it. It's just I watch it and I hate him all the same.
Yeah. That's I guess.
I'll cut that whole bit out.
Have you seen his cryptic videos that he posts on Christmas?
Yes.
What is that?
Did you know that everyone who's accused him of anything has had like an accident happen to them?
What?
Like every single one of his victims have been in like a car accident or like got.
Stop talking about him. Stop talking about him.
Okay. I watched what I think might have been the first bad Netflix rom-com.
Okay.
Like this is the ultimate one that started it, I believe. I watched Sierra Burgess Is a Loser.
I don't know what that is.
Have you seen season 1 of Stranger Things?
Yes.
Remember Barb?
Yes.
This is a movie about Barb, basically.
Like the actress?
The same actress gets typecast again.
I was gonna say she was on Riverdale and she basically just plays Barb from Stranger Things.
That poor girl. I bet she wants to do something else.
Yeah.
But this movie is
wants to be a Nancy Wheeler, but she'll always be a Barb.
Slap that on a t-shirt and put it in Target. This movie is really, really bad. All I remember is that she like pretends to be deaf for a scene in order to like.
I feel like there's a part of you that enjoys these movies, though.
What do you mean by that?
I feel like it's like
Like some kind of sick perverted
it's
pleasure?
like a
Like
yeah,
some deep
it's like a
dark
stale
seed?
butterscotch. It's like a stale butterscotch from grandma's house, you know? It's like you don't like to eat it, but you know something about it just brings back the memories.
I'll say it. I'm offended that you said that. I think you should apologize, not just to me, but to Sierra Burgess as well, for ever implying that there's any kind of guilt I'd have in enjoying these
I'm
movies.
just
Anyway,
saying,
as I
I
was saying,
genuinely think you enjoy these movies. I think there's at
really?
least an element to them you enjoy.
Mm-hmm. What are you, my doctor? Sorry. It is entertaining to see like how low the bar is for some movies. Cause like we went to film school and it's like, I want to do movies. And then every professor is like, get in line, it's hard. But then you
Yeah.
see these things and it's like who wrote this? Like a roll of scotch tape? Like I don't
Well,
understand.
it's like it is hard. It is hard, and even
It's
like
completely hard.
making movies like that are still like it's still difficult. That's why part of me is kind of like I don't want to.
I
I get a
never want
little
to
weary
say,
to
yeah,
bash stuff, and I've kind of gotten to the point too with this podcast. I'm not shy about it. Where if there's something I really don't like, I just won't talk about it,
sure.
or I'll say I watched this. Yup, moving on. But I don't know.
Have you
I feel bad
seen
because there is
Sierra
work.
Burgess is a loser?
I have not seen that.
If you watch the rom-coms I do, I think you'd fold on that little rule of yours where you
Really?
don't say anything bad. It's hard to come up with something good. Oh, okay. I can't talk about this any longer. I'm gonna get
I'm really scared because of what you said earlier that there's going to be a trilogy of these movies.
oh. Well,
Oh
you might
no.
be pleasantly surprised, but you should go get it.
Okay. I built this IKEA bed. I did not build it. Like I built it, but I'm afraid it's just going to fall apart because I built it.
No monkey business on that bed.
No, I'm like just like I bumped my foot into it and the whole thing just freaking rattles. Like, you know, like
That is a little alarming.
yeah. Oh wow.
My God, I'm worried about you.
I watched the Matthew Reeves movie that was streaming on Netflix called Let Me In.
I was gonna yell the Batman, but go on.
No, unfortunately not. But
Okay,
not
side
this
note, I
one.
do have 12 minutes, so no pressure.
God. Let Me In is a story of like this little girl. It's really good. I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but you should definitely check it out. It's like this girl and she's like a vampire and there's
I've seen this.
yes, you have.
Wait, is this the foreign film or the
Chloe,
American remake?
it's the American remake.
Oh,
Chloe Grace
boo.
more something. You know who I'm talking about? The girl from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but just the first one, and then they
Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
I've seen the original and it blew me away. And then I heard that the American remake is like an American remake. But like, what did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. I am curious to check out the original one.
I do think it's probably
I think
a little better.
I actually recommend you check out the American remake.
I might. It's a cool story. I'd like any version of it.
You know, it's cool. That's all I'll say because I got other movies I want to talk about. Go, 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 go.
Well, time to talk about this trilogy. Time to jump straight into it. And the reason I'm lumping it all into one is because, not in a bad way, but they all are the same movie. I watched all 3 John Wicks.
Oh, okay. I am surprised.
Have you seen
They're good
any
movies?
Have you seen John Wick?
No.
Okay.
I seen a clip of I think the second one where he did something with a pencil to a guy's face. I was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah, they make a whole bit about that pencil.
Yeah.
The John Wick movies are so simple, but you love them. Like I showed this to my parents who usually hate gratuitous violence, but they were all on board for it because John Wick is it's so interesting because he's an action hero in the sense where like you don't know a lot about him and he's kind of a blank slate, and usually I would find that boring, but everyone in this universe is fucking terrified of him.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's just like he goes to a warehouse and he shoots a bunch of guys, and then like you have the henchman run up to the villain in like his lair, and there was like the big library where he's like always got a glass of wine by the fireplace, and the villain's like, the warehouse is being like shot up, and the villain's like, oh, like who cares, send in this, and the guy's like, they think it's John Wick, and he's like, oh fuck, John Wick, Jesus. And like everyone is so terrified of him, and it carries the reputation, like knowing that this universe like kind of carries itself lighter when he's around.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think they would carry that for 3 movies, but the world building and the other characters they pepper in, very interesting. You would absolutely love them. Like these
You
are
know,
like
I
right up your
own
alley.
them. I
You
own
own
them.
them.
I've never watched them.
Fucking, I say marathon them all. You're gonna
Maybe
love
I
them.
will. I don't know why violence like that. Like I just have a hard time getting through, but
Maybe you
I
shouldn't
I'll
marathon
get-
it then, because they do one up them like every time.
I was gonna say maybe I'll take it like one movie at a time. I'm like,
Definitely,
you know.
it's worth it.
Um, all right, real quick. I watched the Pixar movie, the new one, Turning Red,
Oh
with the
yeah,
panda.
I want to see that. Yeah,
Um, this was a good movie. I couldn't believe it was a kid's. Like it was. I don't know.
more of a teen movie, like a young.
Yeah, but I was for it. I was like, I would like. And there was some controversy where people were like, "We can't show this to the children."
Really?
And,
What did they say we couldn't show in Turning Red?
well, because they mentioned periods.
Periods.
Don't tell anyone.
Oh my god.
Um, no, but I mean, it's a really good movie. And I feel like the stuff about the puberty and all that would like go over little kids' heads. Like, I'm sorry, like I'm sorry, your toddler isn't smart enough to understand.
There is like, because you would think that it's like a, oh, this is coming up and like you should be okay with it, but like
Yeah.
if it's less of an introduction and more of like a it's happening, then yeah, it does kind of seem like it would be marketed towards a little older.
Yeah, I think people see Pixar and think, oh, it's automatically for kids. And
I saw Moana in theaters, and holy shit, it was like daycare. Like every one of those seats was filled by a screaming little child. And
I wish
so,
I saw Moana in theaters. That movie's incredible.
great movie, but oh my god,
Love
rough
Moana.
crowd.
I am the daughter of the village chief.
There was a little girl behind me who was really mad that the pig wasn't in more of the movie, and I think she threw up from crying.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did I tell you my Hamilton thing that happened the
No.
other day?
What
Oh
Hamilton?
my gosh. So I moved, for the people that don't know, to Los Angeles, basically.
Cali boy.
So I met my cousin up the other day, and we went for lunch and went to this place with like 8 people in it. And one of the people there was Daveed Diggs from Hamilton. And I didn't go up to him. I didn't say anything, but we were, she's like a musical theater nerd too. So we were both like, holy shit, that's Daveed Diggs.
You've already seen a celebrity?
I have. So that's my little story.
Well, like, did you kiss him? Sorry.
You said that with such conviction.
I'm surprised to hear you didn't like go say hi, but like I kind of get it. Like I've seen someone in
I'm
public
like,
and
the
I've been
dude
like,
was eating lunch. There's
Exactly.
nothing I could say to him that would,
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know, let
But
them
at least you get to
exist.
say that you saw him.
There's only a handful of people I feel like I would actually approach.
Yeah, it's like the opportunity is like,
Yeah, like
sorry,
if it was
Daveed
Steve
Diggs.
Zahn, I
Frank
mean,
doesn't even like you, Daveed Diggs.
no, that's not true.
What a
I'm just
loser,
like,
right,
you know what
Frank?
I'm saying? I don't want to. I have enough respect for the man that I don't want to interrupt him, and I know he probably gets that enough.
Yeah.
If it was someone like Steve Zahn, I'd harass and be like, "Can you record an intro for the MrMovies podcast?"
If I saw Steve Zahn driving on the highway, I'd run up to the car and like punch the window in order to get him to pull over.
Just bash your head in like the shine, like it's on when it's on.
Oh, sorry. I guess we got to exchange information for insurance reasons. What's your phone number, Steve Zahn?
Dude, that's a genius idea. If you see a celebrity, just freaking hit T-Bone. Sorry about that. What's your address?
Oh my God. Frank, I think it's your last movie. I'm
This is
done.
my last movie. I watched The Batman.
You tricked me. You did watch The
I
Batman.
trick you.
For Matthew Reeves.
I was so freaking pumped for this movie. This is when I was working at the movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
I I think we got the keys for it at like 12:01 a.m.
Mhm.
I drove my ass to the theater at midnight and watched this 3-hour movie in a theater.
Oh my God. You're a madman.
I think since this release, I've seen this movie like 5 times.
Holy shit.
I love this movie. I love the detective noir style to it. I think it's Matt Reeves' best directed film. Have you seen this movie?
No, I've always meant to, but it's 3 hours.
It's so freaking good, dude. You have to watch it.
Yeah. It's got the Twilight guy in it.
I will say Robert Pattinson is incredible.
I've heard amazing things.
Can I just say, like, talking about Twilight, Kristen Stewart made Spencer and Robert Pattinson made Batman.
They're both really good actors.
I'm happy that, well, no, because with Twilight, and I think especially like the first Twilight is like a genuinely pretty good movie. I can admit that. But what was I saying? I feel like they got like what's the word? Known for that.
Yeah, they had their reputations kind of tarnished.
I wouldn't even say tarnished because they got good work from it, but they were put in a box.
For sure.
And I feel like they both in the past year through the Batman and Spencer were able to break out of that box. And
they should do a collab where Princess Diana and Batman have to solve a mystery together. So they could work
together. The movie would start with, did you watch Spencer? Did you watch it?
No, not yet.
Well, the movie ends with her eating KFC. So I feel like we pick up back in the KFC and Batman walks in and goes, I got a case that's pretty finger looking good. And then that's how the movie starts.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts. I don't know how anything else that happened.
Okay, now I do want to ask. I'm already probably going to see this movie, but like, as someone who's kind of put off by like other portrayals of Batman, do you think this did the character justice? Justice League.
Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing, Duncan. I think so, but I've also liked almost every interpretation of Batman.
Okay.
I like when they bring something different and new, and this version leans heavy into the detective side. He's not a big, gloating billionaire. Like, he doesn't play up that part. He's an emo boy, and he listens to Nirvana. But it's
he's supposed to be like younger in this one, right?
Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I think the cinematography in this is like incredible. This doesn't look like, this has half the budget of most superhero movies that come out today, and it looks a million times better.
So it's not like all green screen, I'm assuming.
Well, no, there's a lot of effects and stuff, but I think they just knew where to put their money, and
it's really cool.
Knew when to do stuff practically, and they took the time to really let it nurture and grow. I'm going to recommend, if you're a fan of this movie, I'm going to assume a lot of our listeners have already seen it. Dolby, not to plug another podcast on this podcast, Dolby does this really great behind the scenes podcast, and they have like 2 episodes with Matt Reeves, and they talk about the cinematography and sound design. So if you're like into that, it's so interesting, and I recommend it. So that was my March. Duncan, let's take us out.
I'm actually done.
Oh, that was it.
I have such a mouthful of quiche.
Well, I guess that's it then.
No, hold on. Thank you all for watching. I know this was a quicker one, but we're going to pump them out. We're going to catch up.
We are going to catch up.
Regular weekends, weekdays, 3 uploads a week, 3 uploads a day. We're going to throw them out there. Live streams, TikTok.
We're going to make a feature movie.
Just promoting this podcast.
Yes.
It'll be great. So tune into the MMPCU.
Hit that bell notification if you want to join the bigger universe.
There you go. Hit the bell, like it, DM me your credit card information, anything you want, and we'll see you next time.
And remember, if you see one of us on the highway, T-bone our car so you get our address.
That's the message that you want? Actively T-bone us on the highway?
Yes.
hit the bell, hit like, and crash your car into ours. That's horrible.